Hello my incredible fishing friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the waters of Canada for an exclusive look at the fishing forecast for Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. And let me tell you, this day is shaping up to be a real game changer for many of you out there. Forget everything you think you know about late fall fishing. This forecast has some surprising twists that could lead to an unforgettable day on the water. Why will this day be so special? Well, we've got a fascinating blend of cooling waters and active fish behavior that's going to make our predatory species absolutely ravenous. Stay tuned because I'm going to share all my secrets to help you land that trophy catch. Let's talk tactics for our favorite Canadian species. First up, the mighty walleye. With the water cooling and fall turnover either underway or complete, walleye are on the move and incredibly active. Where to find them? Focus on rocky points, deep humps, and those lingering green weed beds adjacent to deeper water. They'll be congregating where baitfish are abundant. My experience tells me that early morning and dusk will be prime times for these beauties. For tackle, think jigs tipped with a minnow or a soft plastic imitation. Trolling crankbaits can also be incredibly effective, allowing you to cover more water and find those actively feeding schools. Start shallow, perhaps in 5 to 10 feet of water, and if you're not getting bites, slowly work your way deeper as fish may retreat to slightly warmer pockets. Next, the aggressive northern pike. Fall is, without a doubt, one of the best times to target pike because they are on a serious hunt, bulking up for winter. With the water temperatures we're expecting, these fish will be highly active. You'll have more success focusing on areas with fresh green vegetation rather than browning weeds. These spots are also baitfish magnets. To bring in a pike, use larger spoons, spinnerbaits or swim baits. Live bait like large minnows can also be deadly. Look for them on main lake flats, reefs and creek mouths where baitfish are pushed up by schooling predators. Remember, a big school of baitfish is a structure in itself. Fish it hard. For our deep-water fighters, the lake trout. Many lake trout will be venturing closer to shorelines and even actively spawning as the water hovers around the mid-13 degrees Celsius, 55 degrees Fahrenheit range. So where to find them? Look for them shallow around rocky points, shores, and underwater humps. They'll be feeding heavily on baitfish, and their spawning activity means they're less shy. For tackle, a heavy spoon vertically jigged near structure can be deadly. Also, large swim baits or crankbaits trolled along breaking edges where the depth changes abruptly will entice a strike. My little trick, keep an eye on your sonar for schools of baitfish because where there's bait, there's always a laker nearby. Finally, let's talk about the lively rainbow trout. The cooler water temperatures of autumn make them very active and aggressive. On Wednesday, you'll find them particularly active in shallower bays and along the drop-offs of our larger lakes. Early morning and late afternoon will be key. They'll be cruising the edges looking for emerging insects or small baitfish. For tactics, try trolling a small spoon or a shallow diving minnow imitation in bright colors if you're out on a boat. From shore, a float setup with a worm or perhaps some power bait in a bright color will be very effective. Fly fishers, try a midge pattern or a small woolly bugger stripped slowly along weed beds. Now for the theoretical base that underpins all this fishing wisdom. Let's break down the conditions for October 22nd, 2025. First, the weather. Across much of Canada, we're looking at a generally cool fall day. Expect daytime temperatures to be around 10 to 13 degrees Celsius, 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, dropping to 4 to 7 degrees Celsius, 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit overnight. We could see some light rain or drizzle, especially towards the evening in certain regions. So be prepared for damp conditions. Atmospheric pressure will likely be dynamic, indicating shifting weather systems which often triggers fish activity, especially around frontal changes. Wind will be moderate, generally between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, which is manageable but something to consider for boat control. As for water temperature, it's in that critical autumn cool-down phase across Canada. Lakes and larger inland bodies of water are rapidly plummeting, settling into that crucial 4 to 14 degrees Celsius, 40 to 57 degrees Fahrenheit range. This is the sweet spot for many predatory species as they prepare for winter. Fall turnover is either completed or well underway in many bodies of water, meaning the thermocline has been eliminated. This allows fish to move freely through the water column, seeking bait fish and ideal feeding temperatures without being constrained by oxygen levels. The moon phase for October 22, 2025 is a waxing crescent. The moon is only about 1 day old and approximately 1% illuminated. While some believe a new moon phase can slow the bite, the transition from new moon to waxing crescent is often associated with increasing fish activity, especially during those low-light periods of dawn and dusk, as fish feel more secure to venture out and feed. Overall fish activity in Canada this time of year is strongly positive. It's a hub of preparation. Fish are in full bulking up mode, actively chasing baitfish or predatory species like walleye, northern pike, bass, and trout are highly aggressive. This cooling period, combined with the abundance of baitfish, creates an all-you-can-eat buffet for larger predatory fish, triggering intense feeding periods. Considering all these factors of the cooling water, dynamic weather, and aggressive feeding patterns, I'm giving the overall fishing forecast for Canada on October 22, 2025, a solid A good to excellent rating. The stable conditions after any initial frontal changes and fish preparing for winter create a fantastic opportunity for anglers across Canada. So, my friends, get out there, dress warm, stay safe, and make the most of this prime autumn feeding window. I wish you all tight lines and a truly memorable catch. Ni vosta, ni cheshwi. Don't forget to hit that like button if you found this forecast helpful, subscribe for more expert tips, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. And tell me in the comments below, what are your plans for fishing this week? What's your go-to fall lure? And what's the biggest fish you've landed in October? Let's share our stories and keep this amazing community growing.